RPMS PPST review na naman. Ang tanong, paano nga ba natin i-accomplish ang ating ESAT at E-IPCRF ngayong school year 2020-2021? Bago natin simulang i-accomplish ang updated version ng ating electronic IPCRF sa panuruang taong ito, mas maiging i-download na rin natin ang ating guide sheet on the use of the E-IPCRF tool for the school year 2020-2021 na naka-attach doon sa DMPHROD 0498 series of 2021 na ma-access rin natin kasama ng iba pang mga RPMS, PPST materials doon sa DepEd official link na bit.ly/RPMS PPST 2020-2021 para naman guided tayo sa ating mga gagawin. Once we open the DepEd prescribed IPCRF for the school year 2020-2021 at ito ang nakikita nating security warning, what we're going to do is just click the Enable Content. Let's have a quick walkthrough muna kung ano bang iba't ibang bahagi ng ating E-IPCRF version 2020-2021. Okay, so kung mapapansin natin, generally we have here 5 tabs available for this electronic form. The encoding, the part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 tabs. Simulan muna natin sa encoding part. So sa encoding na tab, we have here the upper portion which is the heading. This tells us kung para kanino ba ang electronic form na ito. This time it's good for proficient teacher, meaning this is intended for teachers 1 to 3 and then SPET 1 to 4. Doon naman sa ating mga master teachers, definitely they're going to use different one. Alright? So we have here also the privacy notice and the general instructions kung paano ba natin i-accomplish ang electronic form na ito. Then followed by, we have here the demographic profiling, meaning to say, this part is asking our personal information, our professional information, then our school and division information. The next portion is our COT and IPCRF rating sheet. Okay? So dito natin ilalagay ang ating mga ratings sa COT and then also the IPCRF numerical ratings. And the last portion of the encoding tab is our personal assessment for our core behavioral competencies. So what we're going to do here is just tick the boxes that correspond to our responses. Okay, now the next tab is all about the RPMS PPST indicators, which serves as our criteria for the evaluation and assessment of our performance within the RPMS cycle. The next tab is the summary of our competencies based doon sa information na nilagay natin sa encoding tab. And the next one is the summary of our COT ratings and IPCRF numerical ratings na nilagay rin natin dito sa encoding tab. And then if you notice, pag miscroll down natin, makikita na natin ang final rating at adjectival rating natin within the RPMS cycle. At kasama rin dapat dito ang name of ratee, rater, at approving authority. And finally, the last part of our E-IPCRF is all about our development plans. So this should be again congruent to the responses that we have in our ESAT. So dito na natin i-input manually ang ating strengths and development needs based doon sa ating functional competencies and our core behavioral competencies. And we will draft here our action plan. Kasama na dito ang ating learning objectives at ang intervention na ating kailangan para mas ma-improve pa natin ang ating performance in the next school year. So, obviously, we need to identify our time frame, what day, month, or specific range of time na kailangan natin para mapatupad natin ang ating action plan and ang mga resources na ating kailangan. Kasama na dyan ang mga materials and support from the administration o mga budget in order for us to achieve our learning objectives and to improve our performance once again in the next RPMS cycle. At bago tayo tuluyang magsimula ng ating gagawin, lagi nating tatandaan na dito lamang tayo maglalagay ng information at data sa encoding part. Hindi na natin gagalawin ang tab 1 or part 1, part 2 at part 3 ng ating E-IPCRF maliban lamang dito sa ating development plans na mag-i-encode tayo manually ng ating mga data. Okay? Alright, kung malinaw na sa atin ang instructions at general guidelines, let's go! Umpisahan na nating i-accomplish ang ating electronic E-IPCRF for the school year 2020-2021. Okay, dito sa name of employee, meron tayong name format no, na sinusunod na dapat ito ay all capital letters at nagsisimula dapat sa last name followed by the first name and middle initial. So halimbawa, no, for the sake of this tutorial, my name is Jose P. Cruz. So I'm going to write it this way. Last name, first name, and middle initial. Alright? So position, we have here the drop-down option. So piliin lamang natin ang ating current position at ilagay ang ating employee ID. So sample ko lamang yan ulit. And then followed by our employment status, age, and sex information. Okay. Now, dito sa level tot, meron siyang drop-down arrow, pati na rin dito sa grade level tot. However, wala siyang drop-down option. So, anong gagawin natin? Just like sa ating ESAT, okay? So, what we're going to do is to jump forward dito sa curricular classifications ng ating school. So, kung ang school natin ay nag-offer ng both junior or senior high school, obviously, pipiliin natin ang grade 7 to 10, grade 11 to 12. So, again, depende yan sa inyong school. Okay, so, going back, makikita natin na meron na available na drop-down options here. So, halimbawa, ako ay nagtuturo sa senior high school and grade level taught ay grade 11 sa strand ng Humanities and Social Sciences. Okay, so that's it. Ano naman dito, no? Sa rater natin. Sino ba ang rater natin? Well, actually, ang rater natin ay pwedeng ang mga master teachers natin na available sa school, under sa ating specific discipline, or pwede rin namang head teacher natin sa junior high school, or ang ating mga assistant principals sa senior high school. Okay, at once makumpleto na natin ang information na kailangan sa portion na ito, we are now going to fill in our COT ratings. At dahil nga binigyan lamang tayo ng dalawang requirement na COT ng ating kagawaran sa panuruang taon na ito at kailangan lamang natin ma-meet ang tatlong indicators within the RPMS cycle, mas magiging madali ngayon sa atin ang pag-fill up ng electronic form na ito. So una, ilagay muna natin ang subject or discipline related to our subject. So we have here available drop-down button, so kailangan nating hanapin kung ano ba ang subject doon na tinuturo natin. So, since I'm teaching in senior high school, social sciences subjects, no, ang hinahanap natin dito. So, I think walang social science. So, ang gagawin natin, we just choose the subject closest to our area of discipline. So, ano ba yung pinakamalapit? Is araling panlipunan. Okay, see? So, and after that, we just input the data ng ating rating. Okay, so let's say lahat ng indicators na meet ko naman, 7 ang aking ratings doon. So, ilalagay ko lang dito sa empty cell na ito. And after that, so ilalagay natin yung date observed. So, let's say na-observe tayo nung March 3, 2021. So, starting with the year. Okay. So, 2021, 03, 03. Okay. And then after that, you just press the lock button once finished. Okay. So, once kinlik natin yan, mayroong dialog box na lalabas na kung saan nire-require tayo na lagyan natin ng minimum of 6 characters password. So, lagyan lang natin na ating password. And then ulitin lang natin. And once done, just click go. Alright, so makikita natin na naka-protect na ang ating data. Now, do the same process sa COT2. Once done, click the lock button. However, please take note that you need to provide a single password for both COT1 and COT2 to protect your data. Alright, so here we go. Next, encode the E-IPCRF numerical ratings for our quality, efficiency, and timeliness. And then input the name and position of our approving authority using the name format. Normally, ang approving authority naman natin ay ang ating school head, right? Now, once done, click the Finalize Part 1 button. And then again, dito sa ating password, so gamitin na rin natin or the same password na ginamit natin sa ating COT1 and COT2. Okay, so once na-click natin ang go button, ito na yung lalabas na dialog box. So ang gagawin lang natin is just click OK. And then we're done in the part 1 of our E-IPCRF. Alright, so up next is the part 2 of the encoding page, which is the core behavioral competencies of our IPCRF. Alright, so what we're going to do here is just tick the box of the behavioral indicators that we feel we demonstrated or delivered during the performance cycle. And once done, click the Finalize Part 2 button. Then ulitin lang natin ang password. Then click Go. And here we go. Our data has been saved successfully. Alright, so ito na yung data or information na nilagay natin sa encoding page na automatic naka-filled in na dito sa ating Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of our electronic IPCRF. Alright? So, ang gagawin na lang natin is to complete the Part 4, which is the development plans of our IPCRF, which is congruent again at nakabase doon sa results ng ating ESAT. And since we successfully encoded all the details and information, it is faster, more accurate, and seamless to get our scores and the final performance results because of this electronic process. Okay, at kung tapos na nating sagutan ang development plans and other parts of the IPCRF are fully accomplished, kailangan na nating isubmit ang file copy of our IPCRF electronic form sa ating department head or school head for the school-wide consolidation. So, bago natin i-finalize, you just print the 4 parts of our IPCRF for our MOVs and for documentation as well. Alright, so the last part will be finalizing the part 4. Once you click that, manghingi ulit ito ng password which requires a minimum of 6 characters. So just type your password there and then click go. And then here you go. The part 4 has been locked and finalized. And then you just click OK. And it's time to name our file before we submit it to our department head or our school head. To name our file before we send it for consolidation, ang gagawin natin ay dugtungan lamang natin ang existing file name ng DepEd prescribed E-IPCRF with our level taught dash our last name dash our first name. Click Save. And finally, we're all set.